And when I came to her house, she actually just let the dog out like that. And the dog actually like chased me.
So can you share with me some of the most challenging cases that you encounter?
One of the cases that I can still remember when initially it started well with the mother, but I kind of know that this mother is she's very fragile. Yeah, I really had to maintain the relationship, but the moment it didn't go the way she wanted it to be, she started to disengage. And when I came to her house, she actually just let the dog out like that. And the dog actually like chased me. Yeah, so I had to. Yeah,
so you traumatized.
I
by the
was
dog.
a bit traumatized by the dog. Yeah, so
Oh
it was very hard after that for me to reconcile with the mother.
But actually, you bring up a very interesting point in social work. Although I always feel that social work is not a rocket science, but that we talk a lot about the human connection.
Yes.
You know, we say you need to build rapport. All this it's easy to say, but when you are dealing with clients who are in all this vulnerable, then it can be very difficult. Like for example, you mentioned this mother who actually choose to distance or push you away, and all this by the dog and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that become very, very challenging. Right? How do you overcome?
For that case, I still tried to engage the father, because the father was the only person that I could work with at that point of time. Yeah, and I also tried to work with the children, work with the systems, whoever that I can work with basically. Yeah, but sometimes for such cases when we really cannot go in and do further intervention, we have to escalate to the ministry level. For statutory intervention. Actually, I didn't really like at that point of time to work with youth. Yeah, the secondary school
very deviant.
Yeah, I felt that it's very hard for me to connect with them. Yeah, but actually I got this one case. The girl was 14, so in secondary school. But actually I realized that I could connect well with her. When I came in, she was very open with me because of harsh physical punishment by the father. The father actually hit her. Yeah, so there were injuries on her body, and then we brought her to KKH. And then we visited her, and we gathered more information from her about her family members, about her parents. And that's when she actually told me that her parents have been taking drugs at home. And she wanted to actually leave this kind of environment. She didn't want to live with the parents like this, but she didn't know what to do. And at the same time, she was very scared to inform us, because she didn't want the parents to go to prison. But I had to tell her that in order for us to help her, we also need to help her parents, and in order to help her parents, they need rehabilitation work. Correct. So she agreed for me to to report to CNB, and then we proceed to report to CNB, and the next few weeks the parents both in prison. Yeah, so that was a bit chaotic for us, because we then needed to find placement for the children.
See, that is the sometimes delicate position that the social worker has been put in. For example, in this case, that well, overall we think that it's for the good of the family and all this, but will it be a situation where then they blame you?
Of course.
For example, the parents will blame you because you will report them.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, because that was their first incarceration, so they were in for about 6 months. 6 months in, 6 months out, meaning 6 months in prison, 6 months in the welfare home. So when I met them again, they were not happy with me, definitely. Yeah, so I had to.
But you still meet them.
I had to. I wanted to reunify like the children back with the parents lah.
Earlier on you shared that you have some resistance or not that comfortable working with teenagers and all this. So how do you actually overcome that?
I guess the empathy. Yeah, when I see the girl, I could feel her. I tried to put myself in her shoes. Like, who wants to put their parents in prison? Yeah, but this girl, she was very, very brave to go and tell me about this, even though she knew the consequences, that if I tell my social worker, likelihood my parents will be going to prison. But she still tell me with the hope that I can change my family. So at the age of 14, I realized that, hey, they are very resilient actually. Yeah, so it changed my perspective. Initially, I thought that, usually these teenagers, they are very like to rebel and whatnot, right? But actually, no, they have the resiliency in them. They have their strength. At the age of 14, they know what they want for their families.
Can it be heartbreaking.
Of course, yeah. I remember in a few sessions, actually, I cried with her together. She cut herself a few times, yeah, because of what happened to the family, and she blamed herself as well, yeah. And at one point, I had to stop her from visiting her parents because when she visited the parents blamed her. Like, it must be you who told the social worker about us, you know. Yeah, so I had to tell her to stop visiting her parents because it didn't help with the relationship.
I have a lot of respect for people who work with all these vulnerable people who are being traumatized. Because I can imagine myself, if I go in there, number one, you need to be strong.
Yeah.
You need to be the pillar of support.
Yeah.
But yet at the same time, you know, you also need to be authentic.
Yeah.
You also need to be actually true to yourself, you know. So with all these different experiences that you accumulate, you know, how does it shapes your own thinking or your own value?
I realized, hey, social work is not just about, you know, giving financial assistance. It's not just about counseling, where, you know, if you talk to people will tell you, oh, you're a social worker. Are you helping, you know, financially, that kind of thing. But actually, it's more than that. We are looking at people's strength, and we try to help them move with whatever strength they have, lah. Actually, most of the time, I learn a lot from my clients. Yeah, and I always tell them, you think that I help you, but I also think that you also help me.
I really echo with you this sense. I always tell people, you know, it's equally true that we are also being helped
yes.
in the process.
Yes.
So can we sign a life contract with you?